York. You've tuned in to the News Channel M8. I am your host here, Claudia Preston, and my co-hosts, Daniel and Matt.
Welcome to our Waking Up in Economy segment for this Tuesday morning.
In the economy today, our stories include demand, GDP, economic growth, and tax policies. For the economic growth, reports say that America's economy has grown more in the last quarter due to service spending, copyright, and construction by the government. The gross domestic product, or also known as value product, goods and services that has many provided a country for a year, has increased to 3.5% from the previous 3.2%. According to Bloomberg survey, the mean for this increase is 3.3%. The growth has been recorded as the fastest in 2 years due to expenses from research and development, nonprofit spending, and financial use. However, it is highly unlikely that the economy to stay at this pace for the last 3 months. It is more common for the economy to grow at a 2% rate, according to Bloomberg. In the third GDP quarter, economists have already predicted that there will be a 2.8% to 3.8% increase in goods and services in the U.S. Purchases of the household, which already account of 70% of the economy, has increased to a 3% annual rate, stronger than the previous estimated rate. The main reason for this percent change is due to the higher spending by the news of the Census Bureau. Household purchases, which account for almost 70% of the economy, grew at a 3% annualized rate, stronger than the 2.8% pace previously estimated. The change reflected primarily higher spending on services by incorporating newly available data. Meanwhile, the finalized sales of the domestic purchases increased from 1.7% to 2.1%. Incorporated government on the fourth duty is due on the 27th of January. Now, Matt Din of the tax policies.
A joint report published today by the Institute for Government and Chartered Institute of Taxation and the Institute for Fiscal Studies examined the current system and concluded that it is not fit for purpose. The report welcomed Philip Hammond's design to abandon the autumn statement, but urged government to stick to the arrangement, proposing an end vision in which budgets contain fewer measures and are better throughout. They made suggestions to improve tax policy making, including sticking to the single annual fiscal event, establishing clear directions for tax policy for new parliaments, engaging in earlier, more detailed consultation and enhancing public and parliamentary scrutiny. The report said that having twice annual budget statements led to a proliferation of measurements, in turn causing instability and confusion among businesses and taxpayers, and should be abandoned to make way for better consulted and scrutinized proposals. Tax policy is too important to leave the Chancellor alone, said the IFS Paul Johnson and the report authors. We need a more open policy-making process as a route to a better tax system. Johnson added that the lack of clearly defined strategy allows policy to be made on the hoof, making it harder to engage in public debate about tax. The report recommended starting consultation at an earlier stage with a wider range of sources in order for government to gain the widest possible understanding of a law before it becomes widest possible understanding of an issue before it becomes a law. And now to Daniel.
Now we're gonna know something about demand. Demand is an economic principle that describes a consumer's desire and willingness to pay a price for a specific good or service. Supply and demand factors are unique for a given product or service. These factors are often summed up in a demand and supply profiles plotted as slopes on a graph. On such a graph, the vertical axis denotes the price, while the horizontal axis denotes the quantity demanded or supplied. A demand profile slopes downward from left to right. As prices increase, consumers demand less of a goods or service. A supply curve slopes upward. As price increase, suppliers provide less of a good or service. The demand theory is a theory relating to the relationship between consumers' demand for goods and service on their prices. Demand theory forms the basis for the demand curve, which relates consumers' desire to the amount of goods available. As more of a good or service is available, demand drops, and therefore so does the equilibrium price. Now we're going to be back with Claudia.
The economy grew modestly in the late 2016. In the end of 2016, the economy began to expand. Retail sales had expanded and manufacturing had recovered. During the season of the holiday shopping, however, because in many states the sales growth was modest, the report from November to December was bigger than the previous version, which had tracked activity in certain areas. In a majority of areas, manufacturers had reports of increased sales compared to at the beginning of 2016. Oil prices had risen last year, caused producers to start wells and order in materials. Many districts have been reported to have better coal, oil, and gas activity. This data means there has been gains in factory activity. However, the rate of jobs has been slightly moderate and wages have increased a small amount. A majority of the region still struggle with unemployment and finding unskilled workers. The average job growth per month has increased to 180,000 to 229,000 at a very slow rate, mainly due to the percentage of employers looking for workers, leading the unemployment rate decreasing to 5% in 2015. On the other hand, the average wage has increased from 2% to 3% in 2016. People are very optimistic about this growth in business and industries in 2017. Now you have been tuning in to M8. Thank you.